Welcome back. In this video, let us understand and see if we have two drives which has been installed on your PC or your laptop. This is of 128 GB and this is of 128 GB. Can we club these two drives as one drive and make this drive into 256 GB, one big drive? In Windows 11, there is an option to combine multiple disks and you can use the total sum of all the disks which are combined together. For that, we need to follow some steps. Let me explain what are the steps which we need to follow. For that, we need to go to disk management. I have added one more disk which is called as disk 3. Let me click on OK. If you notice, I have two drives, which is 128 GB, one drive here, and there is another 128 GB drive here. This is named disk 2 and disk 3. So I wanted to combine these two drives together and make it as a single drive to appear, which will be of 256 GB. For that, what I have to do is I have to simply right click on the disk itself and I need to create a spanned volume. I'll create a spanned volume, click on next, and it will automatically tell what is the drive which doesn't have file system. Because whenever there is a file system which is already there, like your C drive or D drive, if it has a file system already created, you don't want to destroy that file system. If you destroy that file system, all your data, whatever you have stored, it will be lost. So be careful whenever you are doing anything on the disk management. So now this is disk 3, which is of free space. Windows automatically detected, okay, disk 3 is empty and it doesn't contain any data. You can use this disk 3. I will select the disk 3 and add to the selected disks. So both the disks are now selected, which needs to be combined. One more thing to note is if you are combining these two disks, it doesn't mean that these two disks has to be of the same size or same capacity. This can be of 128 GB, this can be of 64 GB, or this can be of 2 TB as well. The other point is if you destroy this particular drive or this is lost or you have unplugged this drive will become unusable. Basically, whatever you have stored on these drives combined together, if one of the drive is pulled out or it has problem with the hardware, it has malfunctioned. So both these drives will be unusable and whatever data you have stored, it will not be available. This is one important point which to be noted. So after selecting these two drives, I will click on next. And if you wanted to assign a drive letter, you can simply go ahead and assign the drive letter. I am not going to assign the drive letter here. So I will select the mount point again, click on the browse and select the share, and I will choose another mount point which is called as spanned mount. because this is the spanned volume. I have combined both the disks, and I'll select OK to create a mount point to be used for this particular drive. Click on next, and it will ask to create the file system. Again, I will give this as spanned wall 1. This, as I said, nothing to do with your data or your label or your mount point. It is just the volume label. Whatever you wanted to give or whatever name you wanted to assign for the drive, you can simply go ahead and assign. It doesn't make any difference. And I will also select perform a quick format. Click on next. Read the summary and click on finish. Again, it will pop up one more dialog box saying that these two disks are basically a basic disk. These disks will be converted to dynamic disk. Once you convert from basic to dynamic, you will not be able to revert back to the basic disk. So I will select yes. Now the spanned volume has been created. Basically, this means the volume, whatever you have chosen to combine, both the volumes have been combined together and has been created as one single drive, and it is also mounted in the path where you have selected, which is E drive and share folder and spanned mount. Now I can simply copy some of the files to just to do some trial and error and paste it in the volume which we have created. So the volume is there, and also the files, whatever we have copied, that is also there. You can delete this volume. As I said, you can simply delete this volume. Nothing will happen to your data. This will remain intact. The data, whatever you have copied, that will remain intact. Only the reference point is deleted. Again, you can simply go ahead and assign a drive letter if you want, or you can create the mount point again. I'll select the mount point, share. I don't want to use this mount point. I'll create a new mount point which is called spanned volume mount, and I will give the reference folder for this mount point as spanned volume mount. I'll click on OK. Click OK. Go to the folder. There is a reference mount point which is created. Inside the mount point, you will see all the folders, all the files and folders, whatever you have copied. So all the folders and files will be intact. This is how you can combine the drive together and make it as one bigger drive. Only one concern is you need to be very careful. Whenever you remove one drive, this drive will become unusable. So using the span drive should be very careful. In some of the cases, it is required in most of the laptops or any desktop. In a normal scenario, you will not be using the span volume. This is just to explain how you can combine the disks when you don't have space. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you and take care.